All right, and how's everybody doing today? Welcome to today's episode. Glad to see everybody here. Hopefully, everybody's watching this. Uh, Today, we're going to be out here in our village, and we finally are going to work on our centerpiece. I've been spending some time in creative, working on trying to get a water fountain centerpiece here done. Let me show you where it's going to be at. So we're coming down our bridge, and this is where we're going to put a big water fountain, sort of a centerpiece, a central area. Then we're going to bring the paths out quite a ways, sort of make this sort of a meeting area. Maybe put up a booth or two. But I know that I've known that this is what's going to be going here for a while. I've just been working on trying to get the design done on it, and I think I have finally got one. It's going to be made out of quartz. Of course, it's going to be made out of quartz. Quartz is something that really pops, really shines. I kind of want to use that as the centerpiece of this, sort of get that clean look to it. Where the bone blocks can kind of give a little bit of a dirty building look, which I really like in this, but I want this fountain to be the centerpiece. So we're going to work on that today. I do need to do a little bit of clearing out here. You can kind of see where I've got the size of it's going to be. It's going to be a circular fountain. I worked with a whole bunch of different kinds of fountain ideas. I worked on some square ones. I worked on some automatic ones. I worked on some round ones. I tried different tiers. Couldn't quite get the one that I thought would fit best with this. So definitely took some time getting what I wanted to see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear away this, bring up a crafting bench, because I'm going to need some slabs and some chiseled and a couple of other things. So definitely need to get a crafting bench up here. But we're gonna lay this down, get this initial part done, and then just dig this away and bring this stuff up. And I'll be back with you here in just a bit. All right, and welcome back. So this is the area that we've got cleaned out right in here, and should be what we need to do here. So this is what we're going to have here. And what I want to do first is lay down some of these outside blocks. The first thing I want to do is sort of lay this out right here. So we're going to have a ring around this fountain in quartz that's going to be pretty good size. Not sure if I have enough blocks here right yet for this. And then we're going to have to make some more blocks, I think, here. So this is what we're going to do in the first one. I'm not going to quite do all of it. I am going to do about half of this, sort of give you the idea of what this is going to look like on the ring here. Let me go sleep this away. So we're going to be building with a lot of quartz. We're also going to be building with some sea lanterns and some lapis as well, which I think is an important color. You know, we're going to have blue water on there, so I kind of want to have hide some of that, sort of bury it in there as well. So this is going to be the ring around the outside of it that we're going to do. And then what I'm going to do for the inside is we've got a sort of a pattern and some lighting available as well. But what I'm going to do with the inside to help save some of the quartz is I'm going to use half slabs. Mostly just to conserve some of the quartz that we've got to use here. So you know, you're once this is all in, you're not going to be able to tell. So don't tell anybody. And then we're going to do a little bit of a different pattern right here. Just sort of getting some of the lighting in on this. Let's stick these in right here. and then working our way into the center here as well. And the center is going to have a different kind of look to it. But this is what we're going to do for our, let's get the blue in here as well, is our fountain. So then we have, what do we have over here? Oh, that's right. And then we're going to have another one here and another one here. So we kind of have these blue pillars coming into the front here. Let's see here. Got this all sort of designed out, and I got to remember where I got certain things. So this is what we're going to have. I think. Yeah, that's what we're looking like. And let's get this side over here done real quick. And take a look at this from a distance, from a little bit further away. So this is what we're going to have. Let's sort of right here. Jump up a little bit, take a look at what we've got here. So this is kind of the design that we're going to go with. I think mixing in the sea lanterns and the lapis blocks sort of adds to it. Now, remember, there's going to be water all over this, so you kind of get a blue flush on all of this as it is, which is kind of nice. It doesn't quite stand out as much. So that's kind of the nice thing about it as well. So the centerpiece is going to be a little more intricate as it is. It actually goes up a couple levels. This is about the right height at the top of the water fountain, which is why I stacked it up that high, just to get an idea of what it's gonna look like. And I think that's kind of that look and feel that we want to see on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more of this quartz made up into blocks. I'm going to finish the outside of this and keep moving on as we're going forward here. Trying to get a little bit more of this stuff done. Building this water feature. I might come back. Now, the nice thing about using quartz blocks on the outside here is that if I decide to swap them out for half slabs, I'm not going to lose the blocks. I actually end up saving some. But I think that I did want this full block here. I didn't want people accidentally walking into the fountain. I think it adds something to it by having this hard stop here for it. Which I think is kind of an important aspect of that that we're doing here. So I'm also going to have to make up some more slabs as well. I'm going to need quite a bit, but I don't want to make too many of them as we're coming through here. I mean, even though I'm the quartz supplier on the server, it's still not a simple block to go and find. So it's always about moderation on that as well. Trying to keep everything that I need in there. Let's see here. Let's do this one over here. And I think. Let's get the sea lanterns in here as well. They're not quite the same on all of these, and it's always a matter of trying to get them all in the right places as we go through here. Let's see. The lead come together like that, and that means we've got sea lanterns right there. Finish off like this, so it's not quite fully symmetrical, but it does have sort of that interesting feel to it, I think, as you see the whole fountain from above. When people come out here, I think they'll, a lot of people will be coming in Some will be coming in via the elytra flying in from above, and being able to see this fountain up, up in the air is one way to look at it. That's sort of something that's changed with the elytra, is that as you're building things and you want things to be presented to people, you want to know how they're going to come into the area. That's why we sort of um, built our bridge the way that we did, sort of coming out of that, and then as it comes down, let's take a quick look at this. People may come in from the nether, and they'll come down here and they'll see this fountain as they're coming across the bridge, as these pillars right here sort of open up and let it come into view, and this will be kind of where it's going to dump into. So that probably means I'm going to probably put like something in here that's going to force, probably put another, maybe one of these little houses right here. That's going to force people to turn into the fountain to kind of see that, and make them going to look at that centerpiece that we're kind of doing right here, which I think is understanding those kind of changes and those sort of controlling how things are presented is important. Because you never know what you're going to see. You want to control how people are seeing it. You don't always know, but you can kind of make them direct them just with items that are coming in. Coming down the bridge. Here's a good example. Stop building here for a second. Let's go take a quick look at this up here. Having this nether portal here where they have to come into this and they don't see anything of our city, and then when they come up, they reveal, you get this to poke up above the top here, and you can see, you kind of can see the fountain. It's going to be right there, but for the most part, when people are coming out of here, they're going to look up and they're going to see, oh, all of these rooftops, these custom trees that have been built, and then they're going to turn the corner here and they're going to be dropped into the fountain. That's sort of the slope coming down. This hedge right here is going to come down, and they get a full view of it here. And as they come down, they get a more uptight view with it, a tighter view to it. And this is probably going to come in and then be a 4 or 5 circle wide, a little area that's going to be around this, where people can jump off into this. This path right here will probably change some. This may have a hill or a tree, something that's going to force them into this circle, into this path that goes around out here, and controlling the motion and the way people walk and move when they enter into an area is kind of important from that aspect. So let me. We can see we got the bottom of this this kind of finished up here. Let me go and review my stuff. I'll be honest with you. I got to go look at my creative world to see where I'm going with the centerpiece. It's been a I've done a bunch of different versions of it, so I want to make sure I get the right one on here. So let me go gather up the right pieces here. Make sure I got everything in place, and I will come back in here in just a bit, and we will get going on that as well. So I will be back with you here in a bit. All right, and welcome back. So let's start off with the mistake I made. I put this over on these ones in a little too far, so I moved them back to my reference image there, and I want to make sure that you saw that. So it is kind of it is coming in on all 4 sides the same way. So this is what we've got in here. This is where we're going to start building our next piece here, and what we're going to do is build up our center here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these quartz pillar blocks that end up coming directional. So we've got to make sure that we're putting them from above here, and build this centerpiece in right here. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to drag this, pull this blue into the centerpiece. The way that I've got this centerpiece built is that it's a lot of different textures of quartz. And I actually don't have any blue lapis up above this, so that's sort of kind of the next thing that we're going to do here. So the next thing that we're going to have here is, let's find a good spot to pillar up here, is we're sort of going to bring some light into here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these, a full ring basically, around this, the centerpiece, but I got these in the wrong spot. These actually end up coming out one more into this area, which is, let's just get this in place here, because the rest of our fountain here does go up a little bit higher. That worked out really well. Scaffolding right there. So this is what we're going to have for our, put this on here. This is what we're going to have going in our centerpiece right here. And we're using a lot of lighting, and I'm using that lighting specifically to add to the look and the feel of it. I want it to have be very bright, as it were. So right here we're going to have some slabs in the corners here, and you're going to have this these sea lanterns hanging down a bit below. But because we're going to have water coming down from the top and cascading over a bunch of these things, it's going to provide a different look and feel. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to layer out a across the top here, and this is where we start talking about what's going to happen with the water physics as we're going up. So I've got some very specific things that I want the water to do, and one of them is I want it to spread in certain areas. So what I've got is I've got some white glass panes, and when you put them out there, you can kind of see they disappear. You know, they're very thin. You really can't see them. They become very useful when you put them all up there by themselves. So what I want to do is we're going to have water coming down from the top and then spreading out around. And what I do is I have the water coming off of this block, and I want to come down, but I want it to spread differently. So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to put a single glass pane. I'm going to do this in all 4 locations as well. So what happens is that as the water comes cascading down, it's going to hit the top of this right here, and it's going to spread out and come down more to give it a little bit more shape, but still be hidden in there, and not necessarily have to have a block in there to force that as well. So like I said, a lot of that is about what shape we want the water to look like on the way in there as well. This is kind of a, you can see it's getting night out here. We got the moon coming up, but you can see that there's a lot of light in this build. And the reason there's a lot of these sea lanterns is that we're going to have water on top of it. And when you put the water on top of it, you mute the light a little bit. So it's kind of important to have all that light in there as well. Let's scaffold up to the next little spot here and take another look at this right up here. So up here is where we're going to get it's going to get a little tricky. So what we want to do is we're going to want to fill in around this right here. Some of these we don't see. I think I'm going to take them out just to conserve the quartz. I built this in Creative, and it was pretty easy to just use a bunch of quartz. But I'm kind of seeing how much of this I can preserve the quartz build on. So down below, let's take a look down below and sort of remind you what this is going to look like here. We've got 3 coming up sort of a 3x3 with these in here. But it's jetting out on this pillar on the side here. So we're going to change that up just a bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this chiseled quartz, and we're going to make this one sort of on the corners instead of on the centerpieces. So below this, below this is where we'd have the pillar. And we're going to try to make it a little bit different up here so that it's got a different look and feel to it. But we don't want these coming up all the way. So what we're doing is we're going to put just regular blocks right here. And then this is where the last bit of stuff comes in. So what we're going to do here is this is sort of the top of our fountain up in this area. You can see where we're up there quite a ways. So this is kind of the look and feel that we want. So we're getting closer here, and I built this fountain with some particular ideas in mind for that as well. So let me go down here. Let's take a look at this. Let's pull out our scaffolding. Step back a little bit and see what it looks like. That's looking pretty good. So some of the other things that we're going to do here is we need to cap this off. Let me see. I do have everything that I need up in there. So it looks like we can finish this up here in a second. Uh-oh, we got a visitor. Go away. So let me sleep the night away, and I will be back with you here in just a second. All right, so it is day again, so we're not going to get anything blown up. And that was one of the things more than anything else is with the zombie coming, I didn't want to run into an accidental creeper out over here. Okay, so we're going to be dealing with our top piece on this here. And this is where we're going to have, we're going to do a little bit different. What I want to do is I want to cap this off with a look and feel of a true cap. Oh, and I ran out of stairs. Bummer. So, nice thing about netherrack scaffolding is it's pretty easy to deal with. So I need 1, 2, 3. So another set of stairs here. Yep, exactly the right amount of blocks. Look at that. So let's get back up here. All right. So we're going to have stairs here, our stairs here, and it completed this cap look to it, which I think is important. Sort of that finished off look there. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to top that off with a light. So we get a light down in here, into this opening area, and we get a light up on top. And then what we're going to do is knock this down. Ouch. And we got a little bit more finishing work that we're going to do here. And a lot of this is going to be dealing with water flow. So let's grab another half of these. And I need ink. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go away with our scaffolding, and we are going to start off with getting a few more things in place right here. So let's just ender pearl up to here. So what we want to do is we're going to have the water coming down. We've got a couple different options actually. One option was to have the water come from the top here, right in the center here, right in there. And I kind of liked that look, but I'm not 100% sold on it. So what I want to do is I want to control the way the water flows, and either it's going to be inside of here or we're going to put it up above. And we're going to look at both of them, I think. But I want to control how the water flows either way. So what I want to do is, if I put it here, I want it to come out the four sides, which it'll do. And I want it to come down, and I want it to spread a little bit. So we're going to put this glass pane right here. Same kind of trick that we did right down there, and you can see that this is going to flow off and work with the water physics that are in there. By dropping this down, so here's what happens. If we were not to have this glass pane right here, what's going to happen is the water is going to come and it's going to fall straight down to here, and then it would come and fall straight off the side here. We wouldn't get any of this filled in, which is kind of annoying. So let's take a look at this right here. So kind of show you what we're going to do. And why I did some of the choices that we did. So you can see how it just sort of drops off right off the side. But if you look over here, it actually spreads out and comes down on the sides as well. So let's see, grab that source bucket. So you can kind of see what we're doing here as far as getting the water to flow. So that's the reason why I chose to put in these glass panes where I did, was to sort of force the water to do certain things. But I didn't want this to just cover this whole thing up. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in some slabs here. And what I wanted to do is that as water drops down here, it's going to spread out in all of these three directions. So we're going to have this spread off the front, it's going to fall off the side, create a source here, it's going to fall off this side and fall off this side as well. So we're kind of forcing the water in a particular direction as we go. So this is kind of the final look of that fountain as far as not filled in. So let me do this. Get rid of some of these things here. Let's put in this bucket of water in the top here and take a look at what it does. All right, let me get some. Let's go take a look at it from over here. So you can see how it spreads and still leaves certain parts of it open. You can kind of see back into it a little bit. And it spreads right here. And you can see how it kind of mutes everything as far as where it's going and the like. I think that kind of has an interesting look to it. So you can see it coming out from above and how it's going as well. Which is kind of a different look and feel. But I'm not 100% sold that I think that that's what I want it to do. So this is one option that we've got. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Let's see if we can get that and get right up here. So one of the other options that we have, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Doing this in creative was one thing. Doing this in survival is going to be another. So what I want to do is I want to take this up a little higher. And what I want to do is add two of these glass panes up on the very, very top. And we're going to put our water bucket right there. And let's go take a look at it from over here. So this is what we have instead. I think that that's a more impressive look. And we left ourselves a little endermite up at the top there. That's kind of funny. I think that that's kind of the look that I want. You can still see all the work that was done up in the top, but you still get that dark blue water in there as well. Yeah, he's coming for me. Uh-oh. Ow. All right. But you can kind of still see the water coming down the sides. You can kind of see the chiseled brick in there. You can see how we have it spreading down here below. Um, you still get the running water sound. I like this look right here where you have them interconnecting where they're coming down. I think it's important in a good fountain to be able to have these, not necessarily areas. The empty space of the water is just as important. Where the water's not, I think, is just as important as where the water is. We did this initial fountain over here. It was very simple for the library, and I think it works. But I think that something like this is a little bit more, a little bit a grander look and feel to it, and it's definitely going to add to the area. So I think that that's the direction we're going to go with the fountain. I think I'm going to keep the water up at the top. But I'd love to hear your feedback on that as far as what options, which one you think was better, the one with the water at the very top, or where you could see the top and the water was coming out of the sides here. I think that they're both just as good. I think they're just two different styles. I think this goes up a little bit higher. Let's take a look at it coming from over here. We're looking at just the fountain. So let's hop up to here and see how we'd be coming out. And this is again talking about how we get people. So looking over here, you can kind of see the blue over here, but you're not sure if that's water. And this is the fountain. You can't see the details of the blocks, where the chisel's at and so forth. It's just a large quartz fountain. But as you come down and you start looking closer and closer at it, you kind of get it obscured here. You can start seeing the chisel coming into view. You can see the openings underneath it. You can see all the way over to the desert. You can kind of see that completed look and feel to it as it's coming along. I'm going to sit here. Hopefully nobody's going to sleep. I want to see what this looks like at night. I'm going to take out some of these torches that are right around here. Let's get the night coming in. See how dark this how this looks at night, because I think that that's another important aspect of looking at some of these builds is how they look at night. So let's go off a little bit here up to the top here and see how much light that gives off. We've done a pretty good job of keeping everything lit up in those areas, but where things glow, where the light shines through, I think is important to see as well as we're going through this. You can see the glow in the bottom here. You definitely see that peeking through in all those different directions as well. And looking at it, in those different aspects, I think is important. We know where people are going to be coming from up here and sort of see what they're doing. I think it's very well lit up. I think we've got plenty of light on it. We're going to need to do some interesting things down here. I think what I'm going to do is turn this into some sort of another border down below here, down a level. I think this fountain gives a lot of glow to the area. I don't think we're going to need a lot of ground lighting around it in the path area. I think there's plenty of light that's going to give off. We're still going to need some. There's just no way getting around that. But I think that this really stands out, and even at night, it has a nice look and feel to it. We've done a pretty good job of keeping everything lit up. So I think that really pops very bright. When you're coming here at night, this is all lit up just to protect from the mobs. But as you're looking over the things, you can kind of see this has got its own light source up here, and it's kind of dark below that. This is another thing that really pops from a lighting perspective. It's very bright at night. It stands out against the desert that we don't have lit up. It's all by itself over there. And I think I want to keep it in that general look and feel. We may have something that's over here in this area. I may have something more over here. just sort of to frame it a little bit more. But for the most part, I think I'm really happy with this. So this is what I'm going to do: is I'm going to work on this ring around this, sort of finish it up, and sort of bring you guys back when I got this all done as far as the landscaping on this is, and getting this finished up. So let me get that squared away, and then I will bring you back after the cut, and we will take a look at the finished product. All right, and welcome back. So, spent a little bit of time here. This is going to be a longer video than usual, as you can already tell. Kind of got carried away there in the building of this, but this is what this is going to look like. I did a little bit of shaping and so forth. I got our bridge squared away here. It's going to come down into this trail. We got one part of our path that heads off over here into our supply area. And then another part of it that heads over here into our deliveries area. I'm going to be knocking out this grass for ages. Into our deliveries and shipments area, and then this rest of this path just sort of runs around the side of this. I didn't really want to put any flowers in here. I may come back. I thought about putting flowers here. It just didn't quite work for me as far as what I wanted. I do have a trail coming along over here. Sort of this path extends over here. I'm going to put a bridge at some point that's going to go over to there. Did a little bit of shaping here on this hillside. Sort of filled in the grass here. Adjusted where this path comes up into here. And sort of just filled this in. Got some of the shrubbery in here as well. So kind of going to be calling that complete. There'll be always a little bit of work that's done on these kind of things. It's never 100% finished, no matter how much you work at it. Like this right here, I just noticed is going to drive me nuts. It's just it's a little too almost symmetrical. It's very patterned. There's not enough too much space in there, and it's just something we're gonna have to work through and work on. It's not a big deal. But that's all that I've got time for today. I would love to hear your feedbacks on this. Anything you can suggest, any of your comments. You can always find me on Twitter at @awanderingnerd. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. But until next time, this is A Wandering Nerd.